Hello, I'm Tom Jones, and welcome to our free workshop for you today. I have another episode for you, another wonderful adventure. I'm going to show you a simple way how to paint leafy trees. I've got two trees in my sketch here. One is going to be in front and one's going to be behind it. I'm going to show you how to apply the color. I'm going to start in my palette with some nice interesting yellow. I'll change colors as we go through into some greens and blues and other colors. But I want to show you a simple approach to how to paint this tree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take, in this case, my 3/4 inch flat brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of my yellow. And watch what I do. I'm going to come up to the edge of this particular tree right here, and I'm going to put in a little bit of yellow, just like that. I'm going to take that same yellow, and I'm going to come over on this tree that's actually behind this tree, and I'm going to put in some yellow here. Now you might think I'm crazy. Why am I going across the lines into this other tree? Why am I not staying in the lines? Well, first of all, I'm going to have some darker colors in some areas. So where you see some yellow going inside some lines, don't worry about that. That's going to be covered up with some darks. So this side of the tree, of the forward tree, will be dark, and this side of the tree that's behind will be dark. I'm going to take a moment and just dry this, and then we'll finish it up with some nice, interesting colors. You'll see how simple and easy this particular painting is. I'll come in and put, as an example, a little bit of color in the foreground. I can even take this particular spray bottle. It has some yellow paint in it, and it shoots dots. And I can come in here and just put a few dots out here to the edge of this if I want. That's real easy. I can put them here in the foreground. Let me warm it up just a little bit. Okay, that one doesn't seem to want to work. We'll go to just plan B. We'll go to a little bit of a light green. It has some color in, so we can work with that. Now, one of the things that I wanted to remind you of is that once we do these trees, I'll come in on this side here with some dark color, and then you'll see how this edge of the lighter tree is showcased as well. So give me just one minute, and I'm going to go ahead and dry this. Now my painting is completely dry. Just a review, I have a tree that's forward and a tree that's back. I've taken just some simple yellow, lemon yellow, and put on this side of the tree, which is going to be light. This tree that's behind this tree is going to be light in this area. This is going to overlap with some dark. And then I put a little bit of light in the foreground. My little spray bottle is working fine now. So anyway, a few dots here and there. I'm going to come in now and put some other colors on this tree, and you're going to see it come alive. I'm going to take my 3/4 inch flat brush. I'm going to take a little bit of my light green, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to just start taking a little bit of that color, and see how I'm just swishing. I guess that's a good word, swishing. I'm just swishing in some color. Okay, yellow up against this dark tree here. That's going to be dark. Now what I'll do is I'll come over and grab some of my Hooker Green Deep, which is my darkest green, and I'll squish or swish a little bit of that. I might even add a little bit of my Ultramarine Blue Deep. Well, that's more than a little bit, but there we go. All right, so now we've got a nice dark side to this tree as well. See that? So we're going from light to dark. All of a sudden, I've got this interesting edge to the tree. Now, again, I can come in with my Hooker Green Deep in this particular spray bottle and create a little edge that looks a little leafy on this side too. See how that works? Back to my brush. Let's take and put a little bit more of that green in here, a little darker green. See all of a sudden how it's light next to this tree? You're going to see it come alive in just a moment. Watch what I do with this particular tree here now. Back to my light green, I'm going to come in and swish some of this color around, leaving some of the yellow at the edge. Then I'm going to come in, I'm going to get some of this darker green, Hooker Green Deep, with a touch of my Ultramarine Blue Deep, and watch what happens. All of a sudden, I'm going to do the edge of this tree dark, and see what's happening now. I've got a light tree behind it and a darker tree in front. All right, so watch what happens. I may have to dry this one more time, so you stay with me on that part. A little darker underneath, like so. Now what I want to do is I want to get rid of this line here. I've got a little bit of a line here, so let's get rid of some of that. So I've got this dark area. I'm going to dry this one more time, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put the finishing touches on this for you. Now it's dry. Make sure it's completely dry before you proceed on this because we don't want any of our colors infusing and running into each other. Now what I want to do is I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to, number one, put the look of some tree trunks underneath. And what I've done is rather than have one tree trunk per tree, I decided to be a little more creative. I decided to have more than one tree trunk. So I'll have 3 tree trunks back here and maybe 2 up front. Now what I want to do is I'm going to take some of this darker color that's underneath, and I'm going to, where the distant tree is, I'm going to have that area behind this area darker. So watch what I do. I'm creating the look of grass by putting some dark back in this area of the tree. See how I've done that? So I've got a little contrast going on now. This area is light up front, and in the back it's darker. So there's a little suggestion to you. So this tree is forward, this one's further back. Now, another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to infuse or introduce just a little bit more dark in a couple of areas here. So I'll just scrub in just a little more dark in a couple of areas, like so. I'll do the same thing on this side over here. Just a little more dark. Now what I'm going to do, this is going to be fun. I'm going to create the edge of this tree right here. This is a fun thing. I'm going to use some nice, interesting darks, and you're going to see the edge of this tree all of a sudden pop out. Watch what I do. I'm going to take my larger brush and mix up some color, first of all. I can go with any color I want. I'll stay with basically the foliage colors of greens and dark greens and so forth. I'm going to mix this up so it's nice and thick, lots of paint. I'm going to take my 3/4 inch brush and watch how I handle this now. I'm going to come in and I'm going to create the edge of this tree by taking my brush and pulling it toward me and dragging it toward me, and what's happening is the hairs on this particular brush are creating the leaves. See how I've done that? By having this dark up against the light, all of a sudden the tree pops out. See how that works? And then just take and push this other color back away. We can do all kinds of fun things here. We can have a tree coming back this way or whatever you want to do, but that's not the lesson plan. The lesson plan now is to create the edge of this tree. So what I've done is I've created the edge by putting a dark next to it. Always, you hear me say this a lot, keep mixing fresh color in your palette so you always have nice, fresh, juicy colors you're working with. Same thing here. We're just going to drag this color toward the tree, and that will create the edge of that tree. See how easy that is? Pull that color away. You might get another little bonus out of this. I might do another little idea for you with the background here where I'm putting this dark in. Okay, you can just blend this away back here if you want. We're just simply showcasing the edge of this tree. That's all I wanted to do there. Now I'm going to come around to this side here and do the same thing up in here with these same darks. Again, back to my palette, mix fresh color. Make sure there's lots of fresh color out. I love doing this particular example. It's just a lot of fun. Same thing, back to the darks, look what's happening. All of a sudden I'm creating the edge of this tree. Pull the color away again, like so. See how I've created the edge of the tree now? All right, let's go back and do one more thing right here. Let's come back and create a little darker area here with this particular tree up against this other tree. Now we can see that this tree is forward and this one is back. Let's tone this down. We'll make that a little darker there. All right, now what we'll do is I'll take and put just a couple of branches off of this tree. I'll take my script brush and just have a couple of branches coming off of this particular tree that's forward. See how I've done that? Just to give the illusion now that this is really in front of this other tree. I'll come back and put these a little darker for you. There we go. Now you can see that this tree is in front of that one. Now what I'll do is I'll take just a minute and we'll put in just a couple more darks here and there, and you're going to have an interesting little piece. One more little touch and we're done. Take a little bit of the cerulean, add a little cerulean to it, maybe have a little fun back here with a little bit more color in the background. Careful not to put the pure pigment on there. All right, and that just about concludes this particular lesson plan. See how easy that was to create these trees? Just a lot of fun. And in the foreground here, we'll juice it up with just a little bit of ochre, and voila, there we've got it. All right? I'm so glad you enjoyed this particular episode. Thanks again. Hope to see you soon.